Hey everyone. Hi everyone, it's Rita from Miss Rita to the rescue. Let's see. It's Friday. Hooray, it's Friday. Shush, shush. It's Friday. And we are headed into the weekend, and I thought that we'd finish up our week of working with our easy process and the Explore 3 with another great Infusible Ink garden flag idea that I want to show you. And I'm going to show you two different techniques. But in case you missed yesterday, here is what we did yesterday. We did these sort of advice from, and here's the B one that we did. So that's really cute, right? It's hard to see, I think, on camera, but it's really, really cute. And it would look good in yellow as well, which I did cut out yesterday, but I didn't put on the flag yet. But these are images that are found in Design Space. And I thought, even though these were 100% polyester and could use infusible ink, I decided to use regular iron-on. So remember, if you're going to do this, you would need a 12 by 24 inch mat, or if you have an Explore 3 or a Maker 3, you can use Smart Iron-On and do this. It's really fun. But then I started playing with some ideas about infusible ink because, again, these are 100% polyester, and I do have more than one because I wanted to demonstrate it. So I started playing around with different ideas, and here is one that I came up with, but there are a couple of ideas here. So this is infusible ink that I cut out in a rounded corner edge, and I put that on the flag, and then I put in regular iron-on top. This is very much like what we did when we made the mouse pads. Remember when we made the mouse pads? Which it's just one big cutout here. But there's another thing that I want to show you is how to slice in Design Space. So we're going to actually cut a couple of things, but I wanted to show you one that I have worked on. It's going to mess up a little bit here. I stuck them all together. Okay, here we go. So one of the really cool things about infusible ink is that it's permanent, right? It's not going to peel off, and it's not going to fade or anything like that. So if you were doing, for instance, this is infusible ink, and then there's a layer of the iron-on. I'm going to show you that. But then I wanted to do this, which is actually two different sheets of infusible ink. This is probably not a great example to be showing you, but basically what we do is we slice the image so that we can then piece together almost like a puzzle piece two colors in here. So we're going to do that today. And I'm going to show you both techniques so you can see which ones you like better. And there's no right or wrong here. You can do anything you like. So I'll say good morning to all my friends, and then we'll get started. Good morning to Connie and Christine, Shirley and Dawn, Kirsten, sorry, I always say it wrong. Bran, and who else we've got? Deb, Mama Bear's on today. Hi, Marcia. Hi, Loretta. Susan Sharp's on today. And let's see what else. We've got Shirley. I think I saw Shirley on today. So good morning to all of my friends. And Donna. Good morning, Donna. Or Donna's Love, I should say. And Eileen is there. Eileen actually did yesterday's project, but she did it on a canvas, a wrapped canvas. So that was a great idea. And I think we should probably show that in another program, some other program. But today we're going to work on these flags, and we're going to be working with Infusible Ink. And also we're going to be, let's see, Infusible Ink and some regular iron-on. But I'm going to show you how to cut and get ready this Infusible Ink. So let's go to Design Space first. And we're going to actually press it using the auto press. However, you don't have to use the auto press for Infusible Ink. You cannot use your iron. But you need a press that gets as high as like 380 or 400 degrees in order to be successful with Infusible Ink. That's not to say that you cannot use your iron. I shouldn't say cannot. It just won't yield the same results. So what we'll need here is a press that is a little stronger than your regular normal iron. If you have an iron that does go up that high, then hey, try it out. Let's see what it looks like. So here are a couple of examples of what I did. Sorry for the just kind of stark different colors, but it's hard to show patterns when you're going to be cutting out with Infusible Ink. So here are a couple of examples of what I've done. So in this case, let's ungroup it. In this case, all I did was make a circle for behind this Juneteenth saying. So I'm going to cut that circle out, and I've already done that with Infusible Ink, and then I will cut this out with everyday iron-on. Okay, and that's how this will be achieved. I'll show you how that is going to happen. But these other ones, this one here, the love and the together we stand in pride, are actually, let's ungroup this one. So this one here, I actually took a square that had a rounded corner. I'll show you exactly what I did. And then I found this lovely together we stand in pride image, and I sliced it. Now, the reason why we're doing that is you cannot layer Infusible Ink. Hey, quiet. Sorry. I probably need to put these guys away. They're bothering me too. So, okay. It's summertime. Everybody's outside and everything. So that's what it is. Anyway, what I'm going to do here is I'm going to actually slice it. So let's say we'll start off from scratch. Let's say I went and looked for, and I found this really cool Together We Stand in Pride. Now, I could cut this all out of Infusible Ink, and it could go on just the letters, okay? And that's another option, I suppose. But I kind of like to, especially when I'm using patterns with Infusible Ink, I like to use the big piece of Infusible Ink so you can really get the fun look of it. So instead, what I did was I chose a shape, and you can see down here, actually don't have the same number of shapes as I normally do on my iPad, but we'll start with a square. And we will make that square about the same size as that. We can also move it. So we'll edit it and we'll arrange it to the back so we can see how big do we want this. And maybe we just want a little bit of edge around here like this. And we can unlock it and change it so that it has like a little bit of edge. So there we go. I think that looks really cool. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to select them both, and then I'm going to do something called slice. It's right down here, slice. When you do slice, what it's like cutting cookies out with a cookie cutter. I always say that. And you end up, was your original cookie dough, and these are the cookies that you got out of the dough. And then here's your cutter. So you don't need both of these. So you can actually delete them. And in this case, we actually are going to only keep this one. So we can delete this here. So now we have a square that has this cutout. Okay. And let's go ahead and I'm going to do, because I want to do a dog one, I'm going to do this one, love. So I'm going to hide the rest of these. And let's have a look at this one that I've already done. So we will ungroup it and you can see that it has the love, the paw prints. And then I put it on this shape. And actually the shape is a little bit odd because look how I cut it out. So I cut it out so that it's kind of a little too close to that paw, that toe bean right there. So here's what I'm going to do to correct it. I'm going to actually use contour, and I'm going to contour out all of the images from my square. Let's see. And I'm trying to have this. I can't get that one to undo. Oh, jeepers. I know why, because it's so close. All right, never mind. Never mind. We're not going to do it that way. We're going to actually add a shape because it's touching. Let's add a, I guess a square, although we could do any shape, I suppose, but I like that this is a square. So let's go ahead and hide this layer because I messed it up. All right, so let's do what we just did with this love thing, and we're going to make this square bigger like this, and we're going to then edit it and go arrange, send it to the back, and we're going to make the square not touching the other edges, you see. And now I'm going to select them all, and then I'm going to slice. When I slice, I take away the parts that I don't need, and here are the parts that, there's the one part that I do need. So let's delete these. Now, we have to keep in mind that there is a size restriction on this and also on Infusible ink. So Infusible ink is not a smart material, so you can't do a very long thing like we did yesterday. The maximum that you can go is 11.5 inches, and it has to be cut out of using mats. Okay, so let's go over here, and I actually found this really cute Infusible ink set, and I'm going to show you how it cuts out using the Explore 3. So this is the set that I have got. It's called Mermaid Rainbow Patterns, and there's 4 colors here, or 4 patterns, 4 sheets. So you've got the mermaid scales, you've got like a green, you've got this stripe, and then this sort of rainbowy, almost like a underwater rainbow type thing. So I picked out of that 4, I'm going to need 2 sheets for this because we're going to cut this out twice, and I'm going to get 2 actual garden flags from it. So I chose the scales and this sort of mottled green, that mottled kind of green. All right, now I need to make sure that it's not too big, so I'm going to check the shape and the size, and it actually is a little too wide by just like a little tiny bit, so I'm going to make it smaller. Now the flags obviously are longer than what we can really get at. So so we're going to have some spots on the bottom and the top, and I hope that that's okay for you. I did have an idea of maybe putting stripes on here, but I changed my mind about that. So let's make sure that we're creating a proper size. This is right now at 10. Let's do it at 11 inches by 11 inches. Make it really kind of perfectly square. And then we're going to hit make it. Okay. Now, automatically, my iPad is saying that it should be without the mat. Also, we haven't done mirror. So I'm going to go here to this little square, and I'm going to change my project copies to 2. Okay. And then I'm going to change my material load to on the mat, and then I'm going to mirror, and I'll hit done. And it asks me if I want to change the thing, and apparently it doesn't allow you to mirror at the same time. So here we go. I have to go back and make sure it's mirrored. Okay, so it's going to look backward, and that's okay. And we have actually 2 cutouts. Okay, so we're going to hit next, and we are going to choose, go to all materials, and we're going to choose under iron on, look for Infusible Ink transfer sheet. That's what this is. And it's telling you, gives you a little thing. I'm going to hit remember because I want it to remember. And now I am going to open up my Cricut Explore 3. And you'll notice that the light's already blinking. Now it's got the blue showing, which means that it's connected to the Bluetooth. So all I need to do is put my transfer sheet with that shiny grid side down and load it in and cut both of these. Okay, so let's go ahead and do that. Now you might be saying, boy, that's kind of a waste, but you're going to get 2 flags out of this. So one for your mom that likes dogs or your best friend, and one for your garden out of 2 sheets. And that's why I love these 4 sheets thing, because they're coordinating, but also in this case, you get actually 1, 2, 3, 4. If you did this with all 4 sheets, you would get 4 full flags from one box of the 4 sheets. Isn't that cool? So it's cutting out the love, and it's also cutting out around it the square. There won't be that much around it. There'll just be a little bit of a strip. Hi, Debbie. Hi, Donna Lee. Hey, Donna Lee. I was able to process your order yesterday, and it's on its way to you. I will, when I get a tracking number, I will send it to you. Also, Mary Lou Staley, who won the, I don't know if she's listening, but she won the mug press. And Mary Lou, it's on its way to you. In fact, it said that it was going to be delivered today. Now, some of the people that did win from May are getting multiple packages, and that's okay. I can't control the multiple package thing. That's just how Cricut does things. So if you receive just a small package, be on the lookout for a second one, and you'll get the second one. So we're just cutting this out, and so you can see here it is cut out. I'm going to take it off this mat like this. I'm turning the mat over and sort of just taking it off. I'm trying, by doing it this way, I'm trying not to roll up the transfer sheets too much, but they are already rolling. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to gently roll them the opposite way so that we can make these a little bit flatter. And might have to do it twice, just so you know, but do it gently because you don't want to mess up your design. And here we go. It's almost done here with the second bit. There's my first one, and off comes my second one. All right, we're done using the machine, so let's put that away so we have a little extra space here. So I'll do the same thing with the second sheet. I'm going to turn it over and sort of roll the mat instead of trying to pull it off. This is just an easy way to keep it from rolling, but this also has been in a roll for more than a year, I think. So because I've had these Infusible Ink, I have a lot of Infusible Ink. So there you go. Okay, so I know you can't hardly see it, but what I'm going to do is I'm going to start peeling. Now, the first peel that I'm going to do is I'm going to peel off the edge all around, as you can see. Now, this is a paper. It's a paper that's been impregnated with a ink that will turn into a gas. That's what infusible ink is. Okay, and what we're going to do is we're going to very carefully lift off the letters, and you might need to move around here a bit, but see how I'm lifting off those letters, and I'm going to put them in a safe place because I'm going to use them again. And I'm lifting off these letters, excuse me. Try not to rip them. L-O-V-E, and the O is a paw print. So let's see. And then we're going to take the paw print and put our little pieces over here so that we have them for the second page. And there we go. All right. So there is our first one that we've removed the letters from. And we're going to do the same thing with the second one. This makes sense. Believe me, I will tell you that it does make sense. Okay. Now, the point of this is that we're using two different but coordinating colors so that we can have two flags out of one project, which is really super cool, since when you buy those garden flags, you can't just buy one. I think the minimum is like 4. So this is a way for you to give this to. I have a friend that I think I'll probably give this one to, and she loves her dog. So there you go. Now there's the green one, and I'm going to use them separately. So I'm going to put my green pieces over on the side. Paws, toe beans. We call those toe beans. At least that's what I've always called them. The little paw pads, you know. All right. So here we go. All right. So I have all of my green pieces out. Let's put the green one away, and let's get this out. And we'll take our green letters, and then we are going to place them in the openings that we took off the other letters. And this is still rather sticky, so this works out really well. And when you're putting them on, remember you're going to face them up this way, because then we're going to turn it around and do the pressing. Okay. L and a V, and here's the E. Now you might be like this, and do please make sure that you're seeing both patterns, because otherwise it will not work for you. All right, try to get it in there really well. And I did try this yesterday with a very complicated design, and it was super frustrating. I'll show you what happened, because I did not like the way that. Now I'm wondering if these are different sized, slightly different size, because they're not going in there perfectly like I want them to. So I'm thinking that maybe this is a different. Yeah, this one works better. And here. All right. And here. So while we're at it, and we've already done our first one, let's go ahead and do the second one. And then we can press them together, and you can see how different but cool these both look. So there's our first one. Try as best you can to get those pieces in correctly. And let me just show you what I tried to do yesterday. It was such a mess. I hope I saved it. Well, maybe I didn't save it, but I tried to do this really beautiful one that had all kinds of beautiful flowers and stuff on it, and it was a mess. So something that is very just kind of, you know, simple, a simple design works better for these. And I think simple designs work better anyway for flags anyway. Okay. So here's our second one, and we are going to place the L in there and the V and the E, and I hope that I didn't lose already one of the pieces for the paw pads. Now, what you could do is clearly you could do this and not have that second sheet, but to me it's kind of wasteful of your material, so I like to use as much of the material as possible. And I this is just the way that I like to do it. Obviously you're gonna craft the way you want to craft. This is just to give you inspiration, okay? So if you don't like it, then don't worry. There'll be something that you like coming across, I would hope. All right. So I'm looking for my fourth little paw pad, which I put over here to the side, and then I must have breezed it along here. So let me just look real quick for that. Or I have this one and this one, but I don't have the fourth one. So, okay, well, whatever. Now we're going to heat up our press. So we're going to use the auto press today. So we're going to go to the heat press guide, which is under the Cricut website. This is a heat guide, and it allows you to check the settings and the heat on up to 5 different kinds of heat presses. So we're going to choose the auto press, and we are going to choose Infusible Ink transfer sheets. The only thing that doesn't kind of work about this is that I noticed is that the choices are all Cricut blank, so you have to kind of make a decision what you're going to do. I think these are most like cosmetic bags. The fabric is most like that, although not quite, but we're going to choose that, and then we'll hit apply, and it will say, whoops, I hit Celsius. Okay, so it says that I have to preheat for 15 seconds, and I have to turn my press on and heat it up to 385. So I'm going to use the auto press over here. There's not a whole lot to see about this part because the turn on part is over here. So let's turn that on. And by the way, you don't have to leave it in this position. You can close it, but I just happened to be using it earlier. And now I'm going to take the pod and I'm going to do the dial. I like dials, to 385. Now, we do need to preheat for 15 seconds first. So we will do the 15 seconds and we'll give it time to heat up. In the meantime, we'll grab our flag and sort of play around with placement. So as I mentioned before, you know, Infusible Ink is only 11.5 inches, and the way that this works is that these flags are indeed, all right, the flags are longer than that, right? I think they're about 17 by 12. So I'm thinking that for placement, I'm going to obviously leave this part here open. Let me just turn you a little tiny bit. Okay. So this is for where you're going to put the rod for the flag, okay? But I'm thinking, okay, how about like half and half, like that? And I think that would look good. I'm not going to tape it on just yet because I do need to preheat my my base material. But I'm just going to look at this and see. I see this top had slightly out of alignment, so I'm going to just pop that in there. And as far as our second one, which is kind of weird that I just sort of lost it, and of course I'll find it afterwards. As soon as I log off with you, I'll find it and I'll be all like, I found it, you know. And let's see here. I don't think I got this on the right hole. I know you're not seeing what I'm doing here, but that's okay. So while we're waiting for the AutoPress to heat up, because it does take a few minutes to heat up, and you can see its progress here, I want to just remind you that we have giveaways going on for the month of June. And this month we are giving away a Cricut Bright pad, not a Cricut Bright pad, a Cricut Bright 360 table lamp. This is not the floor lamp, it's the table lamp. It comes in 2 colors now, which is like a Zen blue and an indigo. And the winner will be able to choose what color as long as they're both colors are in stock. I'm assuming they will be. And the other winners, there'll be 6 more winners, will win a special prize pack from me that's all paper. So there's some glitter paper in there. There's all kinds of like cardstock samplers, as well as a brand new blade, because who couldn't use a new blade, and also some standard grip mats, and those are worth about, I think those packages are worth about $125 each one. And so I'll be giving away 6 of them. How do you enter? All you need to do is look at the description of this video, and you will see almost like kind of at the top, it will say, subscribe to my website, and you not my website, to my YouTube channel. So click through and subscribe. And if you are already subscribed, make sure that you share, comment, and like any one of my many videos. And there are a lot of them. Some are better than others, you know. But make sure you comment and like on any one of them, and go back to that description, click the link to Rafflecopter, and put in your name, your full name, and your email address. I do not use the email addresses for anything other than administering the contests. Okay. At the end of the month, we have a special day that I do all of the giveaways, and I come on, actually get to see my face instead of just my hands, and you'll get to see how this works. And we'll pick the winners, and it's really fun. Now, this is not to be confused with my other giveaway that I do every month, that I've been doing every month, and that's for my patrons on Patreon. So if you aren't aware, Patreon is a way for you to support me on a monthly basis, although you can now pay yearly. And I wanted to thank Eileen. She switched hers to a yearly basis, and I think if you do switch your pledge to yearly, you get an additional 10% off. And so by supporting me each month, at the beginning of the month, they will charge you, unless you paid yearly, they'll charge you the $5 or whatever. And then they'll give it to me. Now, I use that money, that they take their cut, of course, but I use that money to support this channel, and I use it to buy things. So recently we had a show about, now I'm going to be doing the preheat. Recently we had a show about sewing. So that's what I use some of the money for, is to buy fabric so that I can show you how to do that. So if you like the variety and not just Cricut stuff, you should consider supporting me through Patreon, because it really will behoove you to do that. Okay, I preheated. So now I'm going to change this to the 60 seconds. I want to just double check that it was 60 seconds on my iPad. Yep. So I'm going to change it to 60 seconds. Toggle feels like vintage, doesn't it? Okay. And then we're going to figure out where we want this. There's some stickiness here, but if you feel like you want to get it so straight, it's probably a good idea, first of all, to stand up, which is what I'm going to do, and sort of look at it head on. And once you get it where you want it, here we go. I want it to be the same size on either side. Take some of this heat resistant tape and sort of tape it into place. The important thing about Infusible ink is not to move it when you are doing this. And that's probably not the best place for the tape, but not to move it, because it creates something called ghosting. And you guys have seen me do that accidentally with my Easy Press, the handheld Easy Press. So this will not happen when you use the auto press, because the auto press presses it in place, and you don't have that opportunity to actually mess up. All right, so we're ready. Now you notice I put the print side down. What's going to happen is it's going to put the ink, it's going to turn that ink into a gas, and the gas will float and then be pressed into, oops, I forgot one thing, and will be pressed into the substrate, which in this case is our garden flag. And I forgot to get my butcher paper. By the way, the butcher paper does come in separately, but you can also get it when you have the box. There's usually 2 or 3 sheets in there. Okay, so let's put that on, and we're ready to rock and roll. And we do have to pull that down a little bit, and you'll see on the pod it is counting down. While it's counting down, I'm going to also, let's see, get ready for the other one. I feel as if I messed up. Oh, there it is. I found it. So found that one. So that's cool. And then we'll do this one, this Juneteenth one, as well. And that's going to be 2 separate presses. All right. Oops. Sorry. So we're going to actually make 3 flags today. Yikes. That's awesome. So I got my other flags. I think about 12. They came in different packs. Also, don't leave the pod on the top. I just did that to show you, because it opens up all by itself. All right. So let's take off that butcher paper, which is reusable as long as you didn't have any ink that sort of transferred to it. Now this is very hot, but you just need to lift this up and off. And there's our flag. Oh my gosh. Do you love it? I love it. So cool. So cool. Now, before we go to the next one, I just want to show you. This is, remember it had all that ink coloring? Well, this ink coloring was turned into a gas, and it went on our flag. So yeah, it's beautiful. And it didn't take all that long to do. I did mess up a little bit here, but that's okay. No, my friend will not notice. This is what it looks like on the other side. And I'm going to put that flag up. I love it. So there we go. So let's do the same thing, but instead of doing that slicing that we did, we're going to do, if I can get this apart, okay, we're going to do the Infusible ink. This is this really beautiful Infusible ink. It's called, I think it's called Bright Triangle, that I thought it had all of the colors that are classic for Juneteenth. And that would be like, there's a green, there's a red, black, and yellow. So it has all of that. And since I cut this out yesterday, I'm making sure that I don't have any dog hair sticking on it. Okay. And whoops, I am going to take my flag. Where's my flag? Here we go. I'm going to change my pod again to 15 seconds. There we go. And let's heat up that flag. Preheat it. Wow, I really like the way that this came out. They're really cool. If we have, well, we're kind of running low on time, but it is Friday, so maybe we'll do a little bit longer. Okay, so that's preheated. Now we're going to take, what I did was I just cut out a circle. Now I could have cut all of this out and done a 2 thing like I just did with that love one. However, that would have been a lot of letters to place. So I decided instead to do this circle. I'm going to move it down a little bit in Infusible ink. And then I'm going to put it here. Ooh, it's hot. It's hot. And then I'm going to tape this on. And then I will need to change my pod to 60 seconds. Change my pod. 60 seconds. And I want to just make sure it looks good. It looks good to me. And now I am going to close it up. I want to make sure I get the whole circle on there. I don't know how I didn't get that whole square on there before. And do the 60 seconds. Now, by the way, if you mess something up, for instance, I didn't use the butcher paper, you can open it. You can release it. Okay. So there's that. I don't know if releasing it will cause a problem. We did tape it. So I just want to show you what it looked like if you had to release and put in the butcher paper, which I always seem to forget. Yeah, the auto. Yeah, thank you, Donna. A big roll of butcher paper would probably be good. Hello from Staten Island, New York. One of my favorite places. New York, anyway, all the boroughs. So yes, I know. I forget the butcher paper. The butcher paper is mostly to protect your machine and anything around that you might be pressing. So don't feel like if you mess up that you can't redo it and sort of open it up like I just did, or if in the case that you forgot it, then that's possible. Now, the heat for the Infusible ink is much higher than the heat that we need for the regular easy iron on, right? So we're going to choose Cricut Auto Press, and we're going to choose Smart Iron On, and the base material is nylon. And let's see, I've got to change my temperature. So I have to go down on the temperature. So I'm going to go down to 280, and that will probably take a few minutes. And I'm only going to do it for 30 seconds. So let's do that. And while we're waiting for that the heat to stop, we're going to take off the Infusible ink, and Wow. So that's really cool. So this technique's pretty cool too, right? So we're going to take that, and then we're going to take our regular iron-on and place that design centered right on that circle. So it is ready to go. Isn't that going to look awesome? I think it's going to look super awesome, except I want to make sure that I put this on correctly. I just love this image, and it was a multiple colored image. So all I did was I welded it. Here we go, like this. Now we don't have to preheat because it's already been preheated. So we're just waiting for that temperature to go down. And I'm just going to put a little bit of tape just to hold it in place. And we do not need butcher paper for this one. We could add it if we want, but remember that this serves as the transfer sheet, and it protects it that way. So while waiting for that, I can go back to my little second flag here and sort of make sure that I found that fourth bit, and I'm putting that in. So Leslie is saying she loves the idea of layering HTV with the infusible ink. I do too. And I think people, maybe they kind of get scared, like, oh, can you really do that? But it is super easy. You just have to make sure you have the right temperature, okay? You need the right temperature for your press after you do the infusible ink. And you do need to do it in 2 steps. Though I do like the idea of the sliced. So it's really up to you. How do you want to do it? So let me know in the comments which way you like best. And I will tell you, if you get really ambitious and you want to do, say, this one I have set up that it says together we stand in pride, which is a really nice flag, but oh my gosh, all these letters. Let me just show you what I mean. So here's the pride one, and look, I had to take off every single letter, and now I'm missing the A, so I got to go hunting for that A, and I have to make sure I use the correct A because I used a pink background and a rainbow colored infusible ink. So here it is. Here's the A. So we can go ahead and get that set up and ready. So when I get off, I'll be able to do these. But doing all these letters, it's really difficult. And if you're picking a very intricate image, you could be sitting there and sort of placing all those pieces, and it can be a little frustrating. So for the first attempt, at least, try to stick with something very simple like this paw print love one, if you're going to do that slicing. Okay. So we're still waiting for the temperature to go down. You can see here. Oh, that's very nice. I need to order large purple infusible ink. Infusible ink is on sale right now at Cricut. I placed an order yesterday. I can't get enough of that stuff. So I bought a lot of the solid colors because I started thinking, well, if you can do 2 colors, you can probably do 3 colors, right? And so I thought, I wonder what I could do. Like, for instance, if I wanted to, I could cut out just this paw print and change the paw print to, say, black infusible ink or solid blue or something, and then we'd have 3 colors. So there are so many different possibilities. You just need to understand the technique that we're going to be using, right? It is like a puzzle. I like puzzles. So, yay, Loretta. I like puzzles. So this works for me. Although I do really like the way that this comes out, of layering on right on there. So we're just waiting. It's almost at our 280. Got 10 more degrees. And then we can just press this and see how it comes out. Maybe we'll, no, we'll just do that. I think that's enough. Like, I'm always like, we'll do this and we'll do this and we'll do that. So don't have to do too much there. But it seems like the temperature going from a high temperature to a lower temperature is a little bit longer of a process. So if you were going to do more than one of these, say, whether it's on a shirt or whatever, then maybe do all of the infusible ink first and then come back, lower the temperature to the 280 and do the HTV. So there it is, 280 for 30 seconds. And we're all set, ready to go. I want to make sure it's really on there well. And here we go. Do sublimation, now use infusible ink for certain projects, going to use it today. Yeah, so somebody asked if I would show them some sublimation. I am going downtown to my friend Wendy. My sublimation printer is on loan to her and Pasquale. So, and my mug press, and I want to do a mug next week. So I'm going to be picking them up when we go down for the event tomorrow night. No, tonight. Well, there's 2 events. So, okay, so there you go. You want to let it cool off a little tiny bit. And so I'm going to wait for that to cool just a second. And I guess while I'm here, I'm just going to change this back to 380 and do this one here because, well, that's just how I am. All right. Let's let that cool for a sec. There we go. Oh, this is coming out beautifully. Let's have a look. Best to wait for it to cool down. Wow. Wow, wow, wow. I love this. Do you love it? Look at that. Is so cool. I cannot wait to put that out. I'll put that out next week. It looks really awesome, I think. So those are the 2 techniques that I want to show you today using infusible ink. You can either slice your image, which is what I did here. I cut them out in both colors, and I sliced the image and put the opposite sliced pieces in there. Or you can do a background and put your infusible ink over the top. To be honest, I think this kind is actually looks more like perfect or professional. I know we're not always looking for perfection, but just in terms of, making it look perfect, I did feel like right here when I put in my pieces, there are little lines. Now, you're not supposed to tell people, like, point out your faults, but I do it so you can understand. Okay, so here, right where the pieces would fit in, and then also on the side, I didn't make sure that my press was doing that whole side enough. So honestly, I really love this layered technique better, and it's just wow. I'm going to do more of those for sure. All right. Anyway, that is it for me for today and also for the week. I hope that you've enjoyed the week. And we've done some sewing. We did hats. We did, what else did we do? We did flags and some other, what did we do? Oh, we did print and cut stickers. And I hope that you've enjoyed it. If you have, and you haven't yet subscribed to my YouTube channel, would you please do that? I'm trying to hit a goal of 25,000 by the end of the year. And that's why I do the giveaways as an incentive for you to share my channel if you're already subscribed. And I do so appreciate all of your input, and feel free to leave me a message. I read them all, and I try to make up the schedule for the next week using your suggestions and ideas for things. Next week, we're going back to the sewing machine. I'm going to show you a really easy, oh, so easy thing to sew. So if you're just getting started with sewing and you want to do something really super simple, I'm going to show you next week how to do this really super simple thing. And so do join me for that. We need to get back to our paper because honestly, I miss my paper. And so we'll probably do some paper crafting next week. So if you missed it this week, that's okay. We'll have some more next week. And we're going to have a really fun summer. I do want to tell you that the weekend of 4th of July, I will not be here. I'm going to use, my son will be done with school, his sophomore year. And we're going to be, I think we're going to go visit my sister. I'm not really sure. And also I need to continue to organize and rethink some things because I love doing this every morning at 9:00, but I feel like we're not hitting all of the people that might be interested. So I'm thinking of changing up the schedule. What works for you? Let me know, okay? You missed paper too. Yeah. So have a great weekend. I'm thinking, by the way, of like when I change the schedule, I'm thinking of adding more shows on the weekend and less shows during the week. And we'll see how that goes as well. So definitely give me some comments if you're watching this now or after the fact. Give me some comments as to when's a good time for you to be learning. And is it too much or too little? Am I focusing on the correct things for you, the things you want to see? I need to hear your feedback so I can make it a better show for you all. Okay. All right, everybody, have a wonderful day, and we'll see you again on Monday. Yeah, stay safe and enjoy this weekend. Bye now.